and then you start talking, and that's
There's
all
a
there is
check.
to it.
There's
It's
a
so
check
easy.
next to both of us.
Okay. Yeah. I don't see any of that. So that's all on you, Ash.
Yeah,
Whew, that's a lot of pressure.
Well, that's why Marilyn is here, because this makes me very nervous.
You're doing great.
I'm just gonna throw.
You've been doing this for like 2 days, and you're already like freaking superstar. You're fine.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn.
And I can hear you. I can hear you. So if you have anything you want to say, I'll hear you.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm
gonna mute, but I'll hear you. See you later.
Yay! Thank you. Hi to our 2 viewers who are watching.
Hi.
Thanks so much for being here.
It's amazing.
So I'm Ashley Love Richards.
And I am Shanny Pants Payton.
They know. I mean, you're one of the most beloved figures on Instagram in my world.
Right. I mean, hopefully in everyone's world, but
Well, I mean, I think so. I just try not to speak for other people.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's been a day. It's been at least a day and a half since I've been recognized in public. So, kind of getting offended by that I'm not as special.
You get recognized in public?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm
all the time.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday, do you want to hear the story yesterday?
Yes, please.
Okay. I guess it hasn't been a day and a half. I was getting my nails fixed and I forgot I'm way more popular than I act like. I was getting my nails fixed and a woman sat down next to me and she's like, looks at me and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting next to a celebrity. She's like, I love you. And I'm like, thank you.
You're like, stop it. What else?
Yeah. It's really hard to go out in public and when I don't feel like talking to people because, it's just unavoidable. So
just like paparazzi popping out of bushes and shit.
Yeah, basically. But I'm getting used to it. It's one of the things that comes along with being such a big time celebrity. So
you know what? One time I was getting into my car and I heard somebody go, Ashley? And like in my mind, it was like, is this your big moment? And like, it was like a slow turn, like it was a slow head turn flip of the hair. Like oh my God, it's my time. And it's my fucking, my friend and listener, Kat. She's very nice, but
but not a stranger.
She just happened to. Well, she wasn't even stalking me. She worked in the old person complex next to my house.
That's so rude. You need a real stalker.
I know. So I'm, a little offended. But
yeah, I would be too if I were you.
So you are aware of my podcast. That's so effed up. I'm getting used to the YouTube. They don't like cuss words in the first 4 minutes, is what I hear.
Well, we're at 3, so you just give it a couple more, honey.
Yeah,
you might have just ruined it.
Zip it. No, I said effed up.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
okay, we're good. Then. Okay, we're good.
But on my YouTube channel, I'm doing a new thing called Coercion and Control with Ashley Love Richards, where I'm going to be talking to all of the people who are willing to talk to me. And I'm pretty excited because I've got so many really exciting guests lined up. So people are willing to talk to me, you guys. It's pretty cool. Shanny's one of
obviously
them. I mean whatever, I'm still building my confidence.
Obviously
I don't have Shanny confidence yet.
Obviously you're starting the best first, so I hope everyone doesn't think it's going to get better after this.
Yeah, you guys,
but
it's all downhill from here.
No,
I'm sorry
it's
to say.
Really, I have to say it really isn't, because I already know you're going to have some amazing people.
Yeah, you know some of the people.
I do. It's going to be freaking awesome.
So you are Shanny Pants.
I am.
People on your channel are well aware of that. If anybody, I believe there might be a couple people watching on my channel. Maybe. What's up, you guys? If they might be. It's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
If you guys don't know Shanny, can you tell us a little bit about how you came to be the paparazzi magnet that you are today?
Well, obviously it's my good looks. But aside from that, I basically during COVID, I've always kind of had a real special personality, and am very sarcastic, so get used to that. I started doing TikToks like everyone else during COVID, and one of them went viral, or a couple went viral, I think, and it just became a thing. And so I gained a bunch of followers pretty quickly and was bored. And so I was doing a lot of videos. I included like my kids in a lot, and it's mostly like kind of like mom stuff. So that kind of took off, and that's kind of how it started. And then it turned into just more. I got invited to Kelly Clarkson show twice, which was really exciting and fun.
What?
I know, and which I still want to go back, but of course. And so that was really exciting.
You're emailing like, hey,
Uh-huh.
anytime.
Yeah. I'm like
I'm
Instagram
available.
friends with the director, and so I'm just trying to stay like just in case she needs like a filler, because I know it's really hard for Kelly Clarkson to like probably get people on her show. So I'm here just in case. So I just want everyone to be aware of that, in case someone else listening here, is one of the person that organizes that.
If you work at Kelly Clarkson show, hit Shanny up.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Be amazing. It would be amazing. And then like local TV has been out several times, just, catching up with me on what's going on. So that's been a lot of fun. And yeah, so it kind of just turned into a thing where I've got a lot of followers now. And then, yeah, it's kind of just been snowballed since then. And then really what happened, and what I'm really excited about, and how I met Ash here, is after, I started talking about the, and I'm on other social platforms too. It's kind of started with the whole Musical.ly or TikTok thing. And now I'm on all those social medias. But really when I started sharing more about personal parts of my story is when it really started kind of impacting me more, to where I'm like, okay, I can make a difference. And I've definitely several things in my story and throughout my life that I kind of started sharing about, and a lot of people were contacting me. And I'm like, oh, wow, like this is important to start sharing real stuff, and not, be the influencers that are always happy and everything's great, and be more real about life in general, and just sharing our stories. So that's kind of, and then it turned into me having a podcast, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I love hearing other people's stories. And I was invited to be on many podcasts. And of course, I listen to them all the time, not mine, but everyone's. And I love hearing other people's stories. And it's so impactful just to hear, we all have way different stories, but they all kind of relate and are similar, or not all, but many. And it's really impactful. It's like free therapy, it's just to understand like, okay, other people have gone through this, and we can share this kind of pain but recovery moment with each other. So I started my own podcast, and I'm really passionate about that now, because it is so important, I think, for us all to share our stories. And I always bring a little humor to it. I can't take myself, it's serious subjects, but I'm kind of like you, Ash, like we got to laugh too. So that's kind of where I am today. And I got hacked last year. It's been almost a year, December. So I'm slowly building my accounts back up. But basically everything was taken from me. I was going to be doing Shanny Pants full time, starting this last January, and was hacked on December 5th. So, so if you look for me on the Facebook, the hacker is still running that page. So it's super cute. I love it. So YouTube is my favorite.
I actually, it's funny because I'm putting all my eggs in the YouTube basket right now. So you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe and all that shit, because TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, what else is there?
That's all I use, so I don't know.
Oh, Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
X,
whatever.
Yeah. I have been just talking to myself for 3.5 years on those channels. And hey, not completely. Some of you say what's up. I appreciate that. But I've been trying to get over the 3,000 follower hump on Instagram
Mhm.
for like a
Yeah.
year or something. And then I met some, pardon me, I met some people in the cultiverse. That's how I met you. We both
Mhm.
know Michelle Carpenter, who also has a great YouTube channel, which is called, if anybody knows Michelle Carpenter's YouTube, like maybe Marilyn, if you could put it up in the
It's
chat, that would be
something like
awesome.
all the tabs are open or
Too many
something like that.
tabs.
Too many tabs, something like
I
that.
feel like I know her picture says too many tabs, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's her at.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm
we
not sure either.
connected through Michelle. Michelle is part of SPTV. A lot of the people watching are also from SPTV. A lot of the people watching, at least from my stream, Mitch Carp, M-I-C-H.
Okay, we were so close.
We were, yeah,
so close.
right there. So that's it. And so one of the people that we met through kind of was Michelle, because I've been talking to Michelle for a while, and we've been talking privately for quite a while now, because we're both interested in lots of different groups. Like, she's part of the SPTV community, and then I have a segment with a guy named Apostate Alex, where we talked about Scientology for a while, and we're going to start talking about some other coercive groups soon. So we are both part of SPTV, and then we're both friends with Roberta Blevins from Life After MLM. And I was signing up for the I Got Out Story Jam in St. Louis. I was just going to put an ad in the booklet. And then I was like, well, I should attend. I would like to meet these people. And I'm too nervous to go to a big convention. So I felt like this would be a good way for me to meet people without having to go to a giant hallway filled with thousands of people. And I'm kind of neurospicy, so fucking all that sound and the fluorescent lighting and shit is like very stressful in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this would be a good kind of more low-key way. And then I was so honored because Michelle invited me to stay at the house where you and some of the other organizers and founders of I Got Out and some of the storytellers were staying. And it was just such an honor. And I got to meet you and Jarette and Lisa and Sarah and Michelle in person, Shantae, so many people. I can't even list, Catherine, who I'm working with her organization, Tears of Eden. It's great, you guys.
Amazing.
We hooked up with them at the I Got Out Story Jam.
Oh, so amazing.
Yeah. It's she is the founder, Catherine Spearing, and they help survivors of spiritual abuse, which is obviously freaking rampant. I'm 14 minutes in. I think I can be myself.
Yeah.
Also, though, like how I don't know how much profanity you use in the public eye. Not much on social media.
Not at all. But I'm also not going to tell you how to be different. I don't care.
But I mean, like I can.
People can. No.
We're on both of our
channels.
Please
be yourself. Please be yourself. I be myself. You be yourself. And if someone doesn't want to watch, they don't watch.
That's true. I always think that. Like, why do people watch if they don't like it? The hate watching is weird to me. Yeah. I will admit, after I saw Shiny Happy People, I might have gone and hate watched like some fundamentalist influencers and went into a deep hole about trad wives. Because
which I now know is your thing, to just go deep dive on all the things,
on anything and anyone. I recently saw telemarketers on Max, and you guys, okay, Shanny, have you ever gotten this call? Hi, this is your local fraternity of police or your national. Can we count on your donation?
Yep. I saw your post on that.
So you guys, if you get that call from any, local police association or whatever. That's a scam, okay? This has been going on for decades, and the founders who made up that whole model and actually like got in cahoots with the police or some of the police fraternity organizations or some shit. I don't know. I don't want to totally misquote, but they had to pay a $19 million fine because it was a $1 billion scam. Now they're chilling. I doxed that guy on my story because I went down a rabbit hole yesterday and found that he's in a Christian rock band called Three Crosses, and they asked for $15,000 on GoFundMe a couple years ago.
So legit.
Like, you guys, follow me at TSFU the podcast. I go fucking off.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going off about Twin Flames right now.
Oh, what a joke.
Have you watched either of the documentaries or?
So the one that just came out, like, what was it, yesterday or this week?
It was
I
yesterday.
have not watched. Yesterday. Okay. I haven't watched that one yet because it's been a week. But the other one I have. And I've definitely done deep dives on listening to all the podcasts and everything I could find on that. And oh my. It just amazes me how stuff like this, and I think it is awesome where social media and us having the ability to just kind of get out here and talk possibly helps, hopefully, a lot of people see real information on groups like that when they aren't shut down right away, because if they're just going to be out there still collecting all their followers and the money and all the things, hopefully with enough people talking publicly about the real side of things, people can like get a little bit of, something sparked in their brain that starts them thinking differently. So messed up. Crazy.
I think what got me is, so if anybody is unaware of what we're talking about, Amazon Prime released a docuseries a couple weeks ago called Desperately Seeking Soulmate, Escaping Twin Flames.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, which Escaping Twin Flames came out. Did the production teams not know that the other group was making a movie with basically the same title?
I do not know, but hilarious and crazy.
How pissed would you be though if you had an idea and you're obviously working on it at the same time and they beat you by 2 weeks?
Oh, it would be rough.
Also, though, I've been having a big discussion about Reddit since I watched the Netflix documentary yesterday. And a lot of people, including myself, think that both documentaries are worth watching because they both touch on different things.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you like if you think they're different enough to matter? So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think the fact that they're, even though it probably kind of sucks for the documentary makers, I think it is really good that the public is getting this in their face.
I agree.
All at the same time.
Yep. I agree.
Because I checked their Facebook and I realized that a lot of their followers could be hate following.
Right.
Just to see what the fuck
it's hard
they're
to tell.
saying.
Yep.
But they have like 60,000 followers.
That's crazy.
Today, right now.
So crazy.
And I feel like also Dr. Yanya Lalick is part of I Got Out, the organization that we were talking about. Shanny was a storyteller at the event. It was amazing.
It was so fun.
We're throwing another one next year. If you guys don't know about the movement, hashtag I Got Out, it brings survivors of different coercive groups together to tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an amazing organization. I highly I highly recommend checking out the hashtag and using it too.
Mm-hmm.
And there goes my.
It's a lot of good information, though. Yeah, yes. I don't remember where you were headed.
Oh, Yanya.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful mind. So Dr. Yanya Lalick is featured in the Netflix documentary. And
yes, she's amazing.
She's incredible. She actually talks about moral injury, which I had never heard of, which is when you look like you know what that is with the way you're shaking your head. Jen.
Fire away. I love her.
So she talks about moral injury. For anybody who's on the chat or watching the live who doesn't know what that is, It's when somebody leaves a coercive group and they not only, you know what, fuck it. Why you say? Can you? I think you should. Maybe you. Do you want to explain it,
Me?
or do
Well,
you feel? Sometimes I feel like uh, maybe survivors are irritated when somebody's explaining their
no.
shit.
No, and I mean, no. No. You finish explaining and then I can expound on it.
Okay,
Because
cool.
you just watched it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
So, Yanya explains moral injury in the documentary, and that it's when somebody leaves a high control or coercive group, often they not only have to deal with what happened to them, but they have to deal. Yanya said that she believes that most people who leave cults were perpetrators at some point, because you're in a situation of bounded choice where you have to go with the thoughts and behaviors that's going on within the group. So what seems crazy to the outside world don't seem that crazy to you, because those are your only options within the world that exists for you. So
Yep.
when you're coming out, you're not only dealing with the things that were done to you, but also the things that you did to other people when you were in that group, because that's what you were told to do and what you were told to think.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, I don't know, you're going to hell, or you're getting kicked out, or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's 100% right. And I think I love that she speaks about that, because it is one of those kind of like side things of getting out that you don't think about, or that I think the general public, you're saying, oh, you get out, which there's so many things that go with it. But it is, I think, and for different groups and cults, I think you have a lot of different levels there, as far as, how much pain you actually inflicted, or, trauma you caused. But regardless, it is something that you take with you. And like for me personally, I know I don't feel like there was too many situations where I did a lot of damage, but definitely your mindset is in a different place. Your your beliefs, whatever you've been taught. And I was born into my group, and so it was my world. It was all I knew. And I remember when I was probably 20, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. Um, my sister and her husband left our group, which was a big deal, very big deal for someone to leave. And you weren't really supposed to have any contact with them or talk to them. Like, they're bad. If they leave, you don't talk to them. So we hadn't been talking or anything for quite a while. And I remember seeing her at one point, and I was so hard on her, like like mean to her, basically, like, I can't believe you're wearing this. I can't believe you're doing this. Like, really judgmental, which is how we always were about everything, because we were right and everyone else was wrong, of course. And it's something that has stuck with me to all. I mean, obviously, I remember it still, as I hated that moment myself, looking back. Like, I cannot believe I said such terrible things to my sister. And yet that was the mindset, is that you're doing something wrong and you need to fix it. And I can't, and you know better, you know that you're doing this wrong thing. And so, as simple as that is, and as maybe not as harmful, it was very harmful to her to have her older sister say that to her. And and it was harmful to me too, to say something like that, because I hated it, and I hated myself for it even before I got out of the cult. It weighed on me, I was like, oh, but at the same time I believed I was right. So that's a very, to me, like, kind of lesser degree as far as, inflicting harm or trauma on someone else. But it's that same concept of, you have this guilt of doing, and there's a lot of other little things like that too, but of doing something to someone or saying something to someone that you take with you. And I'll never forget that feeling. I remember where we were sitting. Like, I remember it very, yeah, it's a big memory. So, but it's something you have to work on. And that's why I love that Yanya talks about it, because you really, it's not just like, oh, no big deal. Like, no, I did that. I have to apologize to this person. And it's been part of the recovery for me, is taking those moments to apologize to people like that maybe, I have harmed. But obviously that goes to a whole, a much higher degree in a lot of different cults and for people. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that she talks about it. I love it.
I mean, I think a lot of, well, just speaking for myself as a trauma survivor, I just experience random bouts of guilt and shame.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally just sitting at my computer working the other day or something, and just like this like gut feeling hit me, and it was just like, you're a piece of shit. You're too mean to people. You're an asshole. And I was like, I told my boyfriend, I was like, I feel like I'm being mean to you. And he was like, you're not though. And I was like, okay, I just feel really bad. And it just like, it felt super icky even talking about it. Like I get like a bit of a visceral feeling in my chest, because it's just like, there's that, and thank you, Leah. Leah just said mental abuse is traumatic too. You're talking about mental abuse that happened to you and that you inflicted on others. And thank you for saying that, Leah, because I think that's so important. I remember when I was in rehab for the first time, because something I'm going to be talking about really openly on this channel is my years and years of alcoholism and my years and years of recovery. But I lose my train of thought. Like,
I'm glad that we're the
every
same,
time.
because I'm just like, I don't know what you just said either.
On the okay, mental abuse is traumatic.
Yes.
So the first time I went to rehab, I was in a trauma group of all women, and everybody. I've actually been sexually assaulted twice now, but at that time I had never been sexually assaulted, and every woman in the group had, or they had been sexually abused as a child or something, and I just completely felt like, oh fuck, my trauma doesn't compare to this at all. Like I can't say that I was mentally and emotionally abused and that I was neglected for days and abandoned for days, and like that's nothing in comparison to what they've gone through. It's like I had and if my mom's watching this channel, she might be. I'm sorry if anything I say hurts your feelings. See, because it's like I can't. I'm
The people pleaser in us.
but like I grew up with a narcissist, an alcoholic, and I have complex PTSD today from probably that, and like the sexual assault and some other stuff. But I think recognizing how harmful mental and emotional abuse is, because that doesn't leave scars on the outside.
Yeah.
And that's like
well,
lasting shit.
It does. And and I think too, it's sometimes easier to hide and easier to not process and not deal with it. So I think it goes, and not always, of course, but it can go unprocessed for a lot longer, because we just stuff it. And it's like, oh, it's like what you just said is exactly how I've felt for years. And it's, my traumas doesn't matter. My trauma's not that bad. Even coming from a coercive group, I've thought the same thing. Well, I wasn't abused like that group. Our group wasn't as bad as that group. And I've really learned over the last 3 years, and through a lot of therapy and things, is that it does matter. And everyone's trauma is their trauma, right? So like we're all dealing with whatever we've been dealing with, and it's trauma to us, and our bodies respond to it and everything. But one of the things that's very interesting to me is having the podcast. I've done many interviews last several years with cult survivors, and it's very interesting to me how many of the ones that come from oh gosh, just totally lost. Anyway, like sex cults, basically.
That happened. Me too.
Yeah,
it happens to
see,
both of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yay, we're the same. But people that have come from sex cults, and that were abused as children, um, how many of them, if not all of them, told me or mentioned to me that recovering from the mental abuse has been way more challenging than recovering from the sexual abuse and or physical, or physical, sexual or physical.
Yeah.
And it really opened my eyes to like how not valuable. Valuable is not the word I'm looking for, but how important all of our trauma is. It's all trauma, so just because, and that's what, for years, I mean years and years, I would just downplay my trauma. As I mean, I didn't go to therapy because I'm like, I don't need therapy. I wasn't really trauma. Yeah, I'm fine. Like, nothing bad really happened to me. Yeah, it was weird, but it wasn't that bad. And so it's really interesting to learn that the mental abuse, the spiritual, the religious abuse, all these abuses really do affect us all, and need to be addressed as well as physical and sexual abuse. It's a different type of recovery. And obviously you have some people that are recovering from all of those abuses, like you, in different, you're going to handle each abuse differently, probably, I'm assuming, with different, methods of recovery. But they all are valuable and important. And like what you said is, I think, probably how majority people feel that have been in any type of abuse situation. It's like, oh, mine's not that bad. Like, it could be so much worse. Or like you said, that person, was abandoned, or, different abuse than yours, and you make it seem worse than yours.
Oh, I
And
was
it's not.
abandoned. I just
Yeah.
wasn't sexually. I just wasn't molested as a child. So
You
I
just
was
waited till you're older for the sexual abuse.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good job.
See, we have to laugh, you guys.
Yes,
I
we
mean,
do.
some people don't. They can't. They don't laugh about
I know.
their story. I have to, like, woo. Humor has been one of
Yes.
the biggest coping mechanisms for me. Um, um, Michelle just popped in. We were talking about Michelle at the beginning. Hi,
Michelle. Oh, I
Michelle
love her.
Carpenter in the house. We mentioned you
Yes.
earlier. We threw up your YouTube channel
Yeah.
because I said that I was so lucky to be invited to the cool kids' house at the Story Jam by Michelle. And
Mhm.
that made me feel so like welcomed. And it was just really an honor to be able to hold space with you guys for it was an amazing and super fun weekend, and it was also pretty heavy, a little bit
Yeah.
intense, maybe.
Yeah, it was very, very much intense. Uh Michelle. It was awful. It tasted like bleh.
It tasted like justice.
Oh, yes. I like that. I like that. By the way, Ash, when I found out that we were having this extra person staying with us at the house, I'm like, who is this person? I mean, I don't care because I'm pretty like easygoing. And then you showed up and I'm like, who is this person? And then we shared a room, and it was like best friends forever.
Well, to be fair, I never stayed in that
Oh,
room.
you never stayed? That's
No,
right.
I got a motel because hey, what's up, fellow CPTSD survivors? I
You should have
yell in my sleep. Like, literally, there's I actually just got a sleep recorder because I want to hear myself. My boyfriend sleeps in a bed with me, as they do sometimes. And I keep him up so many nights because I'm yelling, no, stop, ow.
Oh.
Recently it was, no, I don't want chicken nuggets. Once it
That's
was, who's that little hussy?
Yeah, again, understandable.
You know.
Yeah.
No peanut butter in the smoothie. Those are my 3 fave.
Oh my gosh.
But the other shit sounds pretty ominous. So, if anybody else has like dreams or anything, that you might be a survivor of complex trauma.
You should share your little sound recorder thing on YouTube after you record yourself sleeping. Wouldn't that be fun? and I could commentate on it. Like, oh, here she goes again. Pretending like she has no trauma, but listen to us all hear it.
I was like, why am I talking about this? That's right. It's because
you did not stay with us at the house.
Yeah, it's
you were there most of the time.
Because I was just there. I was like hanging out. But I went to sleep in a Saw motel room.
You should have basically stayed with us.
Yeah.
We could have put you out on the porch or something if you screamed too much.
I was also nervous that if I had a panic attack in the middle of the night, that like, what am I going to do? Because we were going to share a room with...
You were going to be in the dorm with us.
I can understand why you're like, who is this bitch? Because I was supposed to be sleeping in a room with you.
Right. There was a bunch of us in there. That's why I was forgetting that you didn't stay the actual night. But you were there most of the time, and you brought us all gifts. And then I'm like, okay, I like this girl. It was up until the gifts. I wasn't sure. And then when you brought us gifts, I'm like, okay, she passes inspection. And look, I think your bag is it hanging over there? Oh yeah, see, look,
that is my
there's
bag.
Your bag. Yep, I love your bag. Oh, and your game.
Oh my gosh!
And
guys,
I didn't even plan this. I didn't even plan.
Yeah, I didn't pay her anything.
No. It's just sitting there since I got home from however many weeks ago that was.
Well, I understand. I just feel that at one point you're going to go to the grocery store and you're going to grab it. That's my point with the totes. It's like, why I started giving totes as
Totes are the best.
They're Patreon gifts, and also I just give them to people because I figure it's one of those things that how I got the idea is I found some shit in a San Francisco State Students Association. I've had that tote for like 5 fucking years. It's hideous. I was like, why do I have this? It's just because it's a thing to carry things in.
Yes.
You know? So I was like, I think totes are where it's at. But also, I knew that we're all, trauma survivors. So I brought some fuzzy socks and some tissues because I figured everybody would cry. But I don't want to sound like I was like fucking conning you into being my friend because listen.
Well, that's how I felt.
No. Well, I have fully formed a cult with my podcast, and I have like a team, and they help research and edit, and we're like this amazing little like group, and 6 of us, including me, 7, including my partner, and he's the head editor, kind of. So let's include him in the team.
Yes.
So
please.
7 of us went to Miami, and for 3 days. We had never met each other. It was kind of sort of story jam like. We had all been we kind of formed this little some of us formed this like little super team when Shiny Happy People came out because 2 of my friends were ex-evangelicals, so they had a stake in the game. And I was just like, they're taking over the country, you guys. What is happening? And then my friend Peggy, who I'm sure will be rewatching the live, is like me. She hasn't really, doesn't come from a background of being in a high coercion group, but she's had her own shit as well and just like very passionate about helping. I just think this shit needs to be talked about more.
Right.
And I finally think that with things like The Vow and, Leah Remini and kind of these bigger people and documentaries coming out talking about their experience, I think has really opened up a door recently for more discussion on these topics. And I'm like so excited to bring more attention to that because I think that most people have been touched at least by a controlling group.
Right. I agree.
I was in AA for 4 years, and I read some shit out of the big book the other day on live actually. And it was like, and be chill to your husband. Just like let him go and come as he pleases. Because if you try to be controlling, like he'll probably relapse. And trust in him with a capital H. God bless you and good luck or some shit. And they're like, we're not a religious organization. I was like, I feel like it was kind of Christian and kind of controlling. But I mean, I didn't I wasn't abused by anyone in the organization. Like I ended up
The
leaving because
verbiage.
I felt ashamed. They
Oh, yeah.
shamed me when I smoked
Mm.
weed, and I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no.
So I just think that most people's lives have at least been touched by,
Yeah.
or they've had somebody who joined a freaking MLM and lost their house because of it, or
Mhm.
one of their friends started going to a church with a hardcore pastor or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's anyone who's in an ML. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it does touch so many people. And I love what you said about the different docuseries and stuff coming out, and there's just so many of them, and some are great and some aren't. But I think just getting the knowledge out there for public, and not everyone watches them, not everyone's into that, but I think the more, and that's where I think social media again is so helpful with people like us who are sharing bits of these docuseries or documentaries that hopefully people are going and watching them, because we all have different audiences and different people we connect with. And I think even in person locally, like even last night I had an opportunity to talk to someone kind of a little bit about my story, and it gives us, I don't know, like not even the more freedom, but an opening more to talk to someone. Like someone had mentioned watching The Vow, and I'm like, oh, and it kind of gave me that opening of like, oh yeah, I'm actually friends with Sarah, and so I love, and that's where I feel like our little meetup in St. Louis was so great for our last story jam, because not like, oh, I want to throw these names around like I know so and so or I know so and so, but it gives you, but it seriously, it gives you that little bit of authenticity. I don't know like what the word is, but
I think
where,
credibility, like
yes, thank you.
all
Yes.
of us supporting each other
Yes.
and connecting. It's just it's lending credibility to the movement, especially
Yes.
when people like world renowned experts like Dr. Yanya Lalick and Dr. Stephen Hassan, they've
Mhm.
been talking about this stuff for years, but
Right.
it's becoming more public now. And
Yes.
yeah, I think that, I mean, I've been very excited to, I was so excited to connect with you guys at Story Jam,
Mhm.
because as somebody who hasn't come from a cult or coercive group, it's I've, had some imposter syndrome and wondered like,
Mm.
do I have, why should I have a voice in this space?
Mhm.
And I realized that advocates are extremely important too, because
Yeah.
when people come out of the closet or of a cult,
Yes.
a lot of times they get really victim blamed, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, you were there, you chose to be there, and
Right.
it's I think people
Yeah.
think that a lot more is free will than
Right.
than
Then really
is.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it is. And I mean, you see that in all these documentaries and stuff, and it's true. It's like, I got out when I was 31, so I was an adult for a very long time, but it's just it is, and it's hard to explain. That's why I love the experts talking about it, because you are an adult, so you're like, "Oh yeah, I made this choice," but you really don't. Your mindset is so skewed, and yeah, it's not. You think you have full choice, but you don't. And so but like you said, I think that the people that maybe haven't come from that, and I mean for you too, like trauma is trauma. Ooh, yeah, let's do a story jam stream. That'd be so fun. But you still, I feel like you have that empathy because of your trauma. It may be different, but it's still, and again, I feel like trauma's touched on pretty much everyone in the world. So it's not like anyone's like exempt. But I think you having help or advocacy from outsiders, people that maybe haven't experienced the same thing, is very important, because like I look at me, it took me, gosh, I don't know, 9 years once I was out to even admit what the situation was, admit that I was traumatized, start going to therapy. Like I didn't know, I didn't know what to do. And I definitely wasn't seeing anything out there on social media or anywhere I was looking that was like, oh, maybe that's meant for me. So I think the more anyone is talking about this, the more available it is to anyone that might need it. And I think it is so valuable, because so many people go or like we talked about earlier, like you feel like, oh, my trauma wasn't that bad. And I know lots of people that came from my group that most likely feel that way, like, oh, it wasn't trauma, it wasn't a cult, it was fine. And they're out now, and yet they've done no recovery work at all. And to me, you can see the difference. You can see the, like, just like what we used to do, going through the motions. And that's kind of sad to me, because recovery's hard, and I think people don't want to do it because it's hard. It really sucks, and it's really, really hard, but it's valuable. And so I just hope that talking about it like this is like opens that door for some people to maybe see, like, oh, maybe I should go to a therapist and just kind of talk to them about my situation. I know my first therapy visit, it's kind of just like, how was your childhood? Like, the first words out of my mouth, and they're like, oh, okay, so you were in a cult. And it was like, no,
What?
no. I don't know that she
What?
actually like said that right off the bat, but it was very apparent to the therapist that, like, yeah, no, this isn't normal, honey. This isn't
Yeah.
like church. And I'm like, wait, yeah, it is. That's all it was.
That's what everybody does.
Right.
Well, when you're born into that,
Right.
literally, what the fuck else do you know?
That's your life. That's all you know. So yeah. So anyway, I think it's awesome. Just hopefully to get more and more word out there with all, and like I said, everyone has their different audiences. So how cool. We can all be touching different people, doing collaborations like what we're doing right now. I think you're going to be, touching a lot of different people. So hopefully in a good way.
Consensually,
Consensually.
nobody
Yeah.
has to be
You don't
here,
have to
okay?
listen to us. Yes. Leave when you want.
Yeah, no, I've been really excited lately because there's a lot of creators in the Scientology, the ex-Scientology community, making a lot of great stuff on YouTube, and they have really done an amazing job of banding together and connecting and helping each other get the word out. And their SPTV, if anybody doesn't know, SP stands for suppressive person, which is what you get labeled when you leave Scientology, or if you're somebody that a Scientologist starts hanging out with that like is not a Scientologist. I think basically you're a suppressive person. So they've done a really amazing job on SPTV. So, I would love us to collaborate with them. And, I know Shantae Pitts has a YouTube channel. Sarah Edmondson has her own, a little bit culty. Her podcast also has one. A lot, Michelle has one. Our friend Marilyn here, who was she grew up in a Pentecostal cult. There's a lot of us who have channels, and I have like 320 followers. So
That's amazing.
don't be jealous. No big deal. But I think if we all start, I love YouTube too, because the audience can be active in the
Yeah.
conversation, which I think is so cool. I think it really helps open up the conversation. Whereas, I mean, I love podcasting and I will never stop. That's so fucked up. But I think I'm excited about this new way to be connecting with other creators and audience, because I think there's a want and a need on YouTube for cult stories, and especially, talking about cult psychology and cult recovery and healing from trauma. I've done EMDR and DBT, and have you done either of those?
I've done EMDR. Crazy.
So, woo, wild. And I want to have an expert on EMDR and DBT on, because I've been through it and I know some, but I'm not a trained mental health professional. I feel like I'm an honorary one for how much therapy I've done.
Right.
Like, I feel like I've got 10,000 hours or whatever,
I know.
Like,
we've paid enough money and put enough money into it that we should have degrees.
Yeah, we should have doctorates by now.
I know. It's very sad.
No, it's great though. And something that, I think is so hard is some people who come from sort of therapy like cults, self-improvement kind of cults, and then that's got to be so hard, because then obviously you would have a pretty natural mistrust of therapists, I
Right.
would think.
Right. Yeah. I think, well, and I think that about so many different things, you know, like we just like yoga, you know, like people can be really turned off by yoga because you're in a yoga, or like actors, there's weird actor cults, you know. So I think it's so hard because there are so many different facets of cults or coercive groups or even relationships that
Such a spectrum.
everyone has their different triggers and I think it's all kind of an individual recovery type process figuring that out. But yeah, it is. And I've heard that as far as therapy goes from many people. I just find it very valuable for me. But yeah, it doesn't work for everyone. But it would be interesting. I like that you would like to have an expert on, because I think if people could hear a like legit expert talking about it, that maybe they could open their mind up to thinking it's not like craziness or culty.
It sounds like EMDR. It stands for eye movement reprocessing and desensitization. No, switch the letters. Desensitization and reprocessing. And basically what you do is you go into your traumatic memories and reprocess them. And it seems like some woo-woo hypnotic shit. So I actually, which is funny because I'm a very run completely on emotion type of person, but I generally have a good amount of faith in science. And so I've read about the science on it, and I'm like, Ashley, this is scientific shit. Like this isn't crystals. Like this is a scientific proven method. Your therapist has gone to a lot of fucking school to learn how to do this. And she's the smartest, most together 27-year-old I've ever met in my life. I'm like,
wow.
No, she's insane. She's getting her second doctorate right now and has traveled the world and looks like a Disney princess. It's
not fair.
Like who the fuck? Yeah. What? She's like, why are you so obsessed with me? I'm like, I know.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I think too, like when I did EMDR the first time, I remember I talked to, because my normal therapist was like, I think, you know, if you're ready, EMDR is a way to move at this point, you know, when I was ready for it. And so the first time when I met with my EMDR therapist, I just told her, I said, just so you know, like, I want to give this a try. I'm here, but it's not going to work for me because I'm too controlling and I won't allow myself to go there. I am just like, it's not going to work. I'm going to try, but it is not going to work. And so I did it, and it was very interesting. The first, and I've heard too that for some people it takes multiple sessions before it kind of clicks with them. My first session, I was like, I didn't throw up, but almost threw, like I had the trash can ready type. That's how much it worked. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh my gosh, I am a believer. And again, it wasn't like, it is like you said, you're experiencing this traumatic moment again, but the one that we worked on that day, literally, like it cured me. Like that, I had this one trigger that was like all the time showing up. And ever since that processing day, it's been fine. It's like I can think about it and it's there and I can let it go and it doesn't bother me at all. Like literally one appointment. And I know it doesn't work that way for everyone the first time. It just happened to, but I thought it was so funny because I was very sure it would not work. I'm like, this is kind of woo-woo and I'm way too controlling. I'm not going to let myself go there. I'm not going to let myself like think about that. Like that's all I do is try to avoid thinking about it. So this isn't going to work. And then it did. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So pretty interesting.
I was fucking not breathing during that. I do that all the time because, okay. You are, I'm really jealous of your therapy EMDR journey. So I like, I've been going to therapy twice a week for about 2 years. And like, we've been trying to move towards the reprocessing part for like a while now, and my brain is so good at being like, but like somebody said something that bothered me in the grocery store, and I feel like we just really need to talk about that instead. So actually, she kind of fired me a little bit. She was like, I think we should just meet once a week because I think you're kind of using that kind of cushion to be like, we have time. And then on the other end, I'm so frustrated because I'm like, why can't you just do it? So, you know, it doesn't work for some people.
Right.
For some people, it works really awesome and really quick. For some people, it does work and it works awesome. And it just can take a really long time.
Yeah.
It's
Is this with your
everybody's on their own
EMDR?
journey.
Is this with your EMDR therapist?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
No, I know. It's like I don't even want to tell people that because like it sounds like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I'm you guys, this thing is powerful. It's wild. Like
it really is. But it is. That's
Like,
how powerful it is.
we tried to do EMDR recently and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, yeah, we've done this. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know. And she was like, okay. She was like, why don't you use a resource? And I was like, safe space. And she's like, you're only supposed to go there if we're reprocessing the memory though, Ashley. And we haven't done that. And I was like, I thought that was a resource. She was like, again, we've been talking about resources for a couple years now. I'm like, sorry, I'm just really drawing a blank. And then I start crying because I'm bad at therapy. So listen, you guys, healing is a really different journey for everyone. And it's really fucking hard to look your shit in the face. But I know that on the other side, it's going to be a lot better. So that's why I keep going and keep doing that shit because I don't want to scream in the rest of my life, in the night for the rest of my life, or keep having panic attacks. You know, I actually didn't intend this to be such a serious stream, but that's just, I mean, you know, this is like intense shit.
Obviously, we needed to chat about this, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe there's one person that needed to hear it, and that's why we're talking about it. So there we go.
Oh my God. And I totally forgot earlier. I was like, yeah, I started a cult and took everybody to Florida. The point is that I brought everybody similar gift bags there too. And they're already my friends. So I didn't have to bribe them into being my friends. Like I was just doing it to be nice and show appreciation. So,
good. That makes me feel extra special that I was bribed.
Yeah. You weren't bribed.
Okay. I mean, not bribed.
Yeah, I wasn't bribing you. Michelle was just telling Shanny that I was not bribing you guys by bringing those little.
Oh, she's had all kinds of things to say about that. I saw. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I missed it.
Oh yeah.
Shut it, Michelle.
Yeah, no, it was not bribery. It was amazing. And it felt like a couple different people brought gifts. It wasn't just Ash.
Okay.
But it felt very like it was very exciting. And it was so thoughtful of you. Do you love getting gifts or do you just love giving gifts?
I'm more of a giver.
Yes.
I love when people help me.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Me too.
I don't. You know. I thought the love language thing was more scientific than it is. So again, I'm like really emotionally based, but weirdly kind of scientific. And but I would say that I do very much connect with my love language being acts of service. If somebody's like,
I'm the same.
My boyfriend's like, hey, I unloaded the dishwasher and did the laundry, and I'm like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
you did.
You did the right thing.
Wow. So I mean, but like, also, do I love flowers and shit?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I just like being adored in general, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Just expect it, please.
So I know you're such a crazy busy lady. So I did want to hit up a couple of the start comments that Marilyn, Miss at Coffee, Colts, and Crafts, she's got a poppin' ass YouTube, and go follow her, subscribe to her. I don't know, whatever people do on YouTube, rate or review, I don't know, do that stuff. And hey, if you're watching the stream, please like it. Michelle, I did see her say earlier that nobody had liked it, half an hour in.
My feelings are so hurt. Now I'm going to have to do an extra therapy session because no one liked our video stream.
I do you ever cry anymore about like trolls or
Oh no,
no?
I don't care. You know what what I
I
do
don't cry
is
either.
no. I even though your hair is the color of tears, if tears had color. See, you look like one of those little like what the cartoon character, what are those anime?
Oh my god, I do.
You totally do.
I also saw a meme that said people with blue hair keep therapists in business, and I was like, this is such a basic white girl thing to say, but I
Right.
feel attacked.
And obviously it's not true at all.
No. Ego Next Door with Jennifer Hachia. Hey girl, thank you for being on the streams. You've been really awesome and supportive. What are the name of those docs? If you were asking about the Twin Flames ones, the Amazon Prime one is called Desperately Seeking Soulmate, Escaping Twin Flames. The Netflix one is called Escaping Twin Flames.
That's what they are.
I maybe like people in Hollywood don't know. They're keeping things more on the hush hush than we know. Like all of a sudden
They want to be surprised.
Are you kidding me? They made that too? Fuck. And yeah, also a documentary that I've hugely been recommending lately, and I think it really pertains to our conversation and the fact of your growing up. I recently watched a documentary. It's available on Vimeo and maybe for rent on Amazon, but it's available to stream for free on Vimeo. It's called White Right Meeting the Enemy. And this Muslim European woman she goes and hangs out with the NSA, the Nazi, I don't remember, but they're the biggest neo-Nazi organization. And they like invite her to come document their activities because they're trying to present like a softer image. And she's reading these messages that she gets from people that is like, I can't even say it. It's like the worst fucking things you can imagine somebody saying to a Muslim person, a woman, a person of color, just awful things. And she's reading it to them and they're so uncomfortable. They are squirming in their seats. They're like, okay, I wouldn't call you that. But like what the documentary ends up showing is that these men aren't monsters. They're like hurt children who grew up in an area or, culture where that's what's up, where you thrive on hating anybody that's different. Somebody said, actually, he's an ex-neo-Nazi who now works with an organization. I think that he runs with a Sikh pastor, maybe, whose father was killed by a neo-Nazi. And he said, it's just so much easier to scream, I hate ends and Jews and whatever, than it is to say, I'm scared. I feel hurt. I'm afraid. And it was just so fascinating to see that like most of these people didn't go searching for that ideology. Like the leader of the party was handed Mein Kampf at the age of 13.
Right.
Like probably by his dad or something, And it's like, so asking or talking to you about the fact that, how would you know different when you left your group? Because that's what was normalized to you. And I think that's just been something that's really interesting that I've been kind of learning recently is that, of course, there are people who are absolute monsters and there are evil ass people who create the systems.
Right.
For the most part, though, it's these systems that are creating these monsters who are abusing people on just an everyday level instead of a mass level, like, say, Bill Gothard from the IBLP or something,
Right. Right. Yeah.
Jennifer was asking about the Reddit ones. Did I say something about Reddit documentaries on Reddit?
What docs were you talking about? You talked about Happy Shiny People.
Shiny Happy People.
Shiny
that was on
Happy
Amazon.
Happy Shiny Happy. That was Amazon. I don't know which ones you mentioned.
I love documentaries, though.
I know. I have a hard time remembering where they're all from because I watched them all.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Actually,
so.
yeah. So anytime you're like, bitch, did you watch this documentary? I need to talk about it. Like, hit me up.
You're the
I'm your
person
girl.
to contact.
Oh,
Okay.
100%. Because I will watch and then I'll watch something else and then I'll obsessively deep dive as you've come to learn about me.
Yeah, it's exciting to learn that about you.
I
have a spreadsheet, but I need to like fix it before I share it. Otherwise, maybe next time I'll share that with everyone.
I
but
have a spreadsheet.
Okay, of all the docs.
Oh, well, actually on my website,
just a spreadsheet.
podcast.com. No, hold on.
I have one too.
I have so many spreadsheets. But no, on my website, tsfthepodcast.com, if you go to I think it's from the Cultiverse or something, you'll find my cult movie, documentary, and show recommendations. And there's like 45 recs on there.
There you go. Right there. Go there. Maybe you'll find the one we were talking about.
You can share your spreadsheet next time. We could spread it, you know.
I don't really care. That's easy for me when people ask, what should I watch? I just send that to them. So I don't have to think about it.
Right.
But I can just send them to your website now. So that's even easier.
I love it.
I know.
Wait, also, I realized that I didn't send you a spreadsheet because I was on a fucking, I don't know.
I probably wouldn't have looked at it this week anyway.
I was on some kind of roll yesterday. Did you see the pamphlet I made? I emailed it to you.
No, see? I didn't read it. No, I didn't.
I made a spreadsheet yesterday and then I went into Canva and I turned it into like a really nice pamphlet and I emailed it to you and a few
I
others.
read it. It was great. It was so good. I noticed the details.
The pamphlet is like so short and easy and it even says, hey, you guys, I know we're all in our 30s to 50s, but I promise this isn't scary. It says that in the pamphlet.
I love that. I can't wait to go look at it. Thank you.
I have a pamphlet. I have a spreadsheet.
Yeah, just one.
No, I love a fucking spreadsheet though.
It's amazing. Okay.
Michelle said, I told myself that about my rape for years, not that bad. I did choose to be with him. Yeah, the victim blaming that we put on ourselves is so fucking intense. Daniel, the host of From Huns to Humans, is trained in EMDR. Awesome. I will reach out to him. Ash was starting all her texts with "wee" yesterday. That's true. And I wasn't even on that much caffeine. So I think that I was just.
And I was ignoring you.
Very in my like mental state where that happens. I don't know what I have
but it's happy. It's good. So that's okay.
It's excitement. And then I'll just drop off the face of the earth for like a few days because I'm like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed and exhausted.
Cry in your blue hair.
Wait, hold on. For anybody who missed that.
Oh, yeah.
My hair is like really works for me because I'm an emotional gal.
I think you should just start taping it there. Like somehow when you do makeup, you just tape it there. And then you did it much better last time.
No, I can't figure it out.
Yeah, you messed it up this time. You can't just do anything, right?
That's funny that you're like when you do makeup. Okay, I'm going to let you go. But first I do want to say that there's a video that it's really funny because you are doing side by side modeling with somebody's like, and this is how you look like a supermodel. And then you're doing them. And but in the second one, you're like trying to look weird.
Ridiculous. And I look super hot.
You do. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know the video I'm talking about?
There's so many.
You like have like a black tank top and black shorts on, and you're like, everybody's gonna think that all I own is these green sweats. But you're like pulling up a stool to do something.
Oh, I do know that
and,
one.
Like, your hair's like flipped to the side, and you have like very what's the flash dance energy?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know cool things.
You're like, bitch, I was in a cult.
Okay, there we go. Yes. I do know what you're talking about. That was like 20 pounds ago. And so yeah.
I was like, she's trying to like be ridiculous, but she looks good.
Yeah,
So
well, I appreciate that.
I everybody likes a compliment, so I
Mhm.
figured I'd let you know what I thought.
Thank you. Well, you know what I love is when I share old videos because that's what I've been doing lately because life's been crazy. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, you look so good. Have you lost weight?" And I'm just like, "No, that was last year.
You guys, can we stop
That's not
doing
what
that?
matters, right?
Can we stop doing the you look so good?
Just-
Did you lose
just-
weight?
Just
Just say you look good.
LOL. Or yes, or you look
Or just
great.
say, hey,
I
you look great. You look really well.
Right. Like
Not you don't
if
have
you
to
could- if you could see inside this brain, you would not say you look great. You would say, "You need help, honey." Like this is the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the comments, but it is funny when that happens because life changes and bodies change, and that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Everybody should just chill
I
and just
know.
be way nicer. I think that's
Just be nice.
I think that's really our main point is just
It really
let's
is.
just be nicer to each other, right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
stop creating cults, you assholes.
I know. Unless
Stop
it's no, don't at all.
cut
Be
that out.
Cut it out. Don't be awful. It's very
Yeah.
hard for a lot of people, I think, but
Apparently. I don't understand that, but
No. Mm-mm. People are awful. But yeah.
and that's how we end. People are awful.
People
No.
are awful. Thanks,
People
everyone.
Are awful, but recovery and healing and
Ugh.
community are super
Amazing.
awesome. So
Amazing.
definitely make sure to subscribe to Shanny Pants show on
and-
YouTube
And you.
and me on
There
YouTube.
we go. Yeah.
Harlots Jezebels. I am going to change that in like a week when YouTube lets me to coercion and control. But for now, if you go follow me, you'll still be following me.
Yay.
And we're both on follow Michelle's channel
Yes.
at Mish Carp, but it does look like Mitch.
Mish.
Marilyn, throw yours up.
Oh yeah,
God.
I got out for sure.
Definitely go follow the hashtag I got out on social media.
Mhm.
It's a great place for survivors of all groups to connect.
Yes.
Follow Marilyn, our wonderful mod at Coffee, Colts, and Crafts. She's like the therapy mother of the
Ugh.
control world. Like people go in and just like, she just sits there and like mothers everybody. They're like, I'm having a hard day. And she's like, well, just drink some tea and have a ray of sunshine. And everybody's like, oh, and it's like really cute. And everybody's nice. And Marilyn's a doll.
So
And
not like our
follow-
channels.
No. I'm like, what?
Yay.
No, I'm pretty nice. No, you're very nice. And you go watch Shanny on the gram, right? I
Mhm.
don't do the TikTok.
Yeah, no,
So-
I don't really anymore either. Honestly, YouTube is the best place because just shout out to YouTube because they care about their creators. And I speak from experience that the other platforms do not. Like literally do not. Doesn't matter if you're verified because I've tried that route too. Does not matter. They don't care about you. So YouTube's
Oh, wait,
where it's
I'm
at.
sorry. Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk don't give a fuck about me?
Isn't that weird? It's very surprising. I
You're
know.
tripping me out, dude.
I know. It's very surprising, but it's true. They don't care.
No, they
I
don't
mean,
care. And we
I
hate
even
them.
I even specifically have tagged them. And it's so crazy that they haven't responded. They
Oh,
don't care.
yeah. It's also really funny because Meg Applegate, shout out to her also, you guys, Unsilenced. She is leading the charge against the troubled teen industry. She's amazing. Also on YouTube. That's what my spreadsheet and pamphlet are about how we all need to create a YouTube cult. Because I'm
Yes.
wilding out like that all the time. But I'm so serious because like you're saying, YouTube is where it's at.
Yeah.
Here we can connect with our audience more. And like, fuck the other ones because they're doing nothing for us. I mean, although your Instagram is hilarious and you
I
do
do
have
like
a great following.
Yeah.
What is it?
Now that they allowed me back, but yeah. I put I YouTube's not going anywhere, and again, they just care. I feel like I have support, like, as a creator from YouTube, where anywhere else does not care. They literally do not care. And it is very frustrating when you are a creator and have no support whatsoever. But whatever. We have YouTube.
Instagram removed my comment the other day for bullying and harassment
Mm.
because people were bullying and harassing Meg on her page. She posted a fucking story about getting kidnapped in the middle of the night. She actually did it really funny. She did it with like a video first. It's this girl, and I guess it was viral, and she's like, okay, you guys, I know this is weird, but I hate store-bought pesto. And Meg goes, ugh, I know, right? Store-bought pesto, the worst. It reminds me of that time that I got kidnapped in the middle of the night.
I love it.
And people were seriously saying mean ass shit. So I spent the first hour of my day on her comments, just like yelling at trolls. And I was like, you're a filthy piece of human garbage and nobody cares about your pathetic existence. And apparently that's not cool, but they can tell her all this stuff. And somebody said to me, I wish you got kidnapped instead. And I'm like, and you're not bullying and harassing. Like, I freaking hate it there.
Their bots do not do well at all. I've had so many videos taken down for inappropriateness, and if you've seen my channel, it's not inappropriate at all. But I've had things taken down for like safety. Like, I dove off the top of a ladder into my pool, and when I say dove, it obviously is not a real dove.
You jumped.
And I jumped very uncoordinatedly, and that got removed because it was a safety like violation, like because I was doing and I'm like, you have people on like motorcycles like doing super dangerous things, and they're all over the place, and I'm like, what in the hell? Why did that get removed? But I mean, multiple. I've had so many things removed.
It's been a while, but I found an Instagram account once that I legitimately could not look at because its whole point was to post the most violent, gross images as possible. And it was just like rocking and rolling there on Instagram. And then Michelle just said, my IG removed my comment instantly this morning for spam because I said that Christians should care about Palestinian babies as much as Israeli babies. Shaking my head. Yeah. Okay. Oh, also, I got banned from Instagram for 24 hours for spamming because I was commenting on you and some of my other friends' posts. And I guess they were like, hey, you don't normally do anything here. So that's weird. They said I was spamming because I was interacting with my friends.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Shit. Anyways.
It's ridiculous.
Fuck Instagram. YouTube's the new place. Thanks for meeting us at the new place, you guys. This is where it's hot. This is where it's popping. Yes. Shanny's going to go. What are you going to do today?
Today, my kids are out of school, which is super exciting. So I'm going to hang out with them for a bit. My girls are in theater. So tonight is our first show. So I've been volunteering. I work backstage. So it's been tech week. So it's been crazy week.
Ooh,
but tonight's the first show. So it's super exciting. So I think I'm heading over there at like 3:30. And today is catch-up day because today's the first day that I've actually been like at home this week. And so the house has fallen apart completely. So it's going to be a makeup catch-up day.
And you still spent the first half of your morning basically with me.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this all week. That's the only thing that's kept me going, probably.
Oh, I love that.
I love it. I'm so excited.
Meta accused me of love bombing. I guess they did.
Man, they suck.
I feel called out by Michelle. You know what?
Ketchup day.
And I'm having a mustard day. And
actually,
pass the poupon, would you? Does anybody have any gray poupon?
Michelle. Ketchup. It is a ketchup day. I mean, why not? Let's go get some fruit. Ooh, In-N-Out. Maybe we'll do that for lunch.
Ooh, bitch, don't give me ideas.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great.
Their fries suck though. Okay, that's where we'll end.
No, they're amazing.
No, that's You're
Just when I thought we were getting along so well.
dude, In-N-Out soggy fries is your jam?
Order them extra crispy.
No, then they're just burnt. No.
Mm-mm.
You're wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
we
think
need to
this
stop
is this is where
right now.
our
Yeah.
opinions just really
Whew.
split.
Love you, Michelle.
Hate you, Ashley.
Hate you, Ashley. Love you, Michelle. New best friend. Ashley's gonna go cry with her blue hair.
It's basically a daily occurrence. I would
Yeah.
not be surprised if I cried today. I'll let you know if I do.
Okay, please do.
We'll put
I would like to
$5
be
on it.
updated. Mhm.
So yeah, you guys join our anti-cult here on
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
You know, like I said, SPTV and the survivors of Scientology have really paved the way. It's been amazing. And I'm just so excited to, you know, take that collective enthusiasm that people have gotten for learning about coercion and, you know, spreading the word, and just to like really build on that about MLMs, corporate cults, yoga cults, religious cults, the troubled teen industry, narcissistic relationships. It fucking same shit, different day, you guys. It's insanity. So I'm really glad that we're talking about it more. And thank you again so much for coming and hanging out with me. We have to do it again soon. I'm really glad that I wedged my way into your life.
I am too.
And forced my friendship upon you. It's a great decision on my part. And
it was.
I'm very happy. So you guys, thank you so much for watching and listening and participating, and make sure to like the video, comment on it, subscribe. Subscribe to all of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes. It's a party.
Bye.
Love you guys.